The work we do here is very important to me. It has my name on it, which makes me feel good, you know, but it also raises to a higher standard that, you know, I want to make sure everything that we do is right. I have a background in automotive work. I've done it forever. My dad was in a tire and automotive business forever. We were big circle track racers back in the 90s and early 2000s, so we didn't want to spend a lot of money getting our race cars repaired, so we learned how to do it all ourselves. We built our own chassis components, we built our own bodies, and that just kind of migrated into this once we got out of the circle track racing. So this is our production chassis of 64 to 72 F100s. 115 inch wheelbase, it's a direct bolt-on chassis. All the mounts are here, you set your body on. We supply your motor, transmission, whatever you want there. We can build it however far you want to go with it. And here we have a couple more that are waiting for pickup shipment. Both of these are twins. They are 69 F100s. They're twins, they're identical. They're going to basically two best friends in Montana. People are hands-on, they want to come see the chassis, come see what we do. But once they decide on, you know, what they want, whether it's our chassis or a specific chassis, then we sit down with them and go over the drawings, go over all the details that they want, what we can do, what we can provide, the offer, what we can do for them. And then from there, we move to the next stage of, you know, getting in line to build our chassis. Average chassis right now, we're taking anywhere from about 4 to 6 weeks to build out complete. And once we start that, then, you know, it's a really straightforward process of, you know, you decide on all your features and all your options that you want, and then we build it to what your specs are, and then you come pick it up. And here we have a 66 Fastback Mustang that's got a full mandrel bit chassis, 7.3 Godzilla engine going in it. It's getting full chassis, full sheet metal, just full complete build. Paint, body, the whole 9 yards. We get to do every bit of it, which is really cool. We stopped racing in around 2003. Went a few years there where I still helped a couple truck teams and bush teams. And then I opened up my own business in 2009. And from there, we just kind of kept expanding, and that's how we've kind of ended up where we are today. Went to a metal shaping class in 17 with Baileigh. And from there, it really ignited my passion for wanting to do it. And here is what got us here over the last 3 years. This is our Baileigh 4x2 mandrel bent tube bender. This is a beast, and man, this is what opened the doors for tons of work of all of our chassis work over the last 3 or 4 years. The simplicity of it is very simple. I mean, we draw the frame rails, and as long as we can read a tape measure, then very simple operation. 50 to 60 bends a week right now. And here we have our Baileigh saw. It's here beside the tube bender, cut up all of our tubing, and part of the process that we do. It's a great little saw. We've had it about 5 or 6 years now, every day. That saw is used every single day. This kind of really got us into sheet metal work with our Pull Max. This is a long bed replacement F100 floor pan, 60 to 72. This is all done on a Pull Max and then shrinking and stretching, and it's all one-piece sheet metal. This is a very popular item that we ship these all over the United States. So here we have around in the shop, which is another bed, another custom bed floor that we've made here in this one. But then we have our sheet metal area. We have a hydraulic shrinker stretcher here. We have our bead roller, and we have our sheet metal shear back here with our shear table. And then here we have our tube bender, round tube bender here. This is used almost daily. A couple pieces of our chassis use round tube on them, so we incorporate that in it, but we also build other pieces for other clients too as well. So this is a very well rounded used piece here. And then we have our power hammer with the Planish hammer attachment with it. I bought it in 17 after going to a Baileigh class. I bought this one at the class. It was a new machine, and it's nice to have for what we want to do. If we can't find some piece of metal to replace or aftermarket panels, then we can make our own pieces, make a lot of noise in the neighborhood. This was probably the second or third piece that we bought of equipment, but the kick shrinker is, I'd have to say that's probably the #1 used tool in the shop for doing sheet metal work. Now we have incorporated the bigger hydraulic shrinker and stretcher now, but this one right still gets all the little projects. And then here is our Baileigh corner notcher. It's used specifically for one tool, basically. We notch bed floor pans, the 4 corners on them, and that's it. We do not use it for other applications. It just makes it nice to hit that button and use it. And then here's our pull max. It's just what you can do with it. Man, they're amazing. They're amazing machines, but these build our bed floors. 100%, every rib on our bed floors are run here on our Pullmax. Small finger box brake that we do all of our corner panels with. After we notch them, they come over here. It's set up, nobody messes with it, no adjustments. It's just one piece is what we use it for. This is our old notcher. I say old, it's 2017, so it's not that old, but when you upgrade to a hydraulic, it does not get used near as much as what it used to. And here we're going into the other room, which is our original building, and this is where we build our chassis at. Frame jig for building our chassis. This one's specifically set up for the 65 to 72 F100s. That's all we do on it here, so this one's just getting started. And here we have a 52 Chevy. It's got a front and rear clip that we've installed on it, using all of our suspension parts, everything that we've built here in-house. This is a front, rear, and all the sheet metal work. We'll probably paint it, and then that'll be about all we'll be doing on this one. And here we have another jig set up. This one is F100 as well. It's getting an independent rear suspension set up in it with a Crown Vic front end, actually. So this is really kind of cool. This is all new to us here, so we're learning and experimenting here, but just using the Mustang independent rear on it. We've adapted it to bolt the whole subframe up underneath it. The goal is to supply a frame that a customer can use their Crown Vic front and buy the rear, and they bolt it under and they do all that themselves. Our Baileigh tools have helped us in a way of, #1, the tubing bender, the mandrel tubing bender. I couldn't do this without it. So that just opened up to so big of a market for us of being able to bend the tubing for shops, guys in their garage wanting to back half a truck, put full frames under. You know, we were able to supply them with the rails in a very short, timely manner. We were trying to do them in 2 or 3 day turnaround for the most part. And that has been a big asset, but then also I feel like the more that we do, the more tools Baileigh has to offer to make my next process bigger or better. The CNC plasma machine, so now we're able to cut all of our own parts out. We don't rely on nobody to make a bracket. All of our brackets for our chassis are built in-house. We don't use anybody else. Our rear ends are all built in-house. So their tools have made that process a lot better, and they have all the tools that we need to do the process with. We don't have to source it out from another vendor on a certain piece of equipment. Baileigh has been able to help us with all of that so far. Here we have our 4-foot plasma table cutter. I think we literally cut every single day of the week on this machine here, cutting sheet metal and parts. All the parts that we build are all cut here. Very, very important piece. We've started out with a 2x2 Baileigh machine, and we've upgraded to the 4x4 unit. Over here we have our tubing notcher, which is a great machine. And then we have the newer one. Each one of these has their own specific piece in what we build our chassis. Lower control arms, upper control arms. Each one of them has their own place though here for that application. The Baileigh social media has opened up so much for us of their following that we have, you know, guys, customers in small shops that see what we do now, and that, you know, we're small too, so we can help them. We can provide them with components, frame rails that they didn't have a source to get before. And since we're small like they are, I feel like, you know, we understand their side of it, but without the social media side, we would not be nowhere near what we are today. So on this side of the shop, we have our milling machine, Bridgeport. A lot of notching for tubing, a lot of small notches, all of our 4-link bars and stuff. We just put little notches or drill holes in them. So it's a very important piece for us to use too here. And then over here is our Big bandsaw, this is a beast here. 3-phase powered, it's just big. It just cuts. Yeah, it could be late 50s, early 60s, but man, it's a great machine to have. We have a slip roller here that we use a little bit. It has its place too. We just don't use it a lot. And then our big 10-foot press brake here, which is just a monster. I think this is a 60-ton. We bend a lot on it. Yeah, this one's never gonna leave.
Not easily, at least.
No, absolutely. So a legacy that I'd like to leave behind is just, you know, knowing where I'm from, where I've grown up my whole life, I've stayed here my whole life, is to knowing that we're providing a great product, and I hope that that product will continue to keep going forward.